Hey everyone, welcome back. So many creatives, artists throughout New York City were left deeply impacted by the pandemic. And so the New York Foundation for the Arts partnered with the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, along with re-granting art services organizations to come together, such as Bronx Council on the Arts. And they have launched the City Artist Corps Grants. The initiative will help artists who were hit hard and left out from other local and federal funding opportunities. And joining us to tell us more, we welcome the New York Foundation for the Arts Executive Director, Michael Royce, and Bronx Council on the Arts Executive Director, Viviana Bianchi. Hello and welcome.
Hello, Rhina.
Thank you for being here with us. This is exciting news. I am so excited to learn more. Shall we begin with you, Michael, since you are representing the New York Foundation for the Arts, and of course, let's just get into it. I know that overall it was a $25 million grant. I understand that the New York Foundation for the Arts is basically managing, what, 15 million?
About.
Yeah, and so you've chosen certain organizations in which you're using as re-grant institutions. So how were they chosen? Let's give everybody the gist of this whole process.
Well, just to clarify, these are arts organizations that are partnering with us to help provide support outreach, technical assistance, information and application review support in service of the city's diverse cultural communities. So they were chosen by the Department of Cultural Affairs as trusted partners that the department has worked with in the past to make sure that this particular program was done throughout the diverse cultural communities. So NYFA didn't choose them. They were chosen by the Department of Cultural Affairs.
Okay, so thank you for clarifying that. And so this opportunity is offered through these partners, or can artists also apply independently?
So this is for artists. These are artist grants. Any artist that wants this particular opportunity applies through the application link on the NYFA website, and some of the partners also have put the website on their public pages as well. But it all goes through NYFA's submittable platform. And it is for artists, not for arts organizations.
Got it. So since we have Viviana Bianchi, the Executive Director of Bronx Council on the Arts, perhaps she can elaborate a little further as to how this process is. I know you've already gone through cycle 1, and I understand there's 3 cycles. So what are the criteria that need to be met in order to qualify?
There is a long list of criteria. I'll just give you the main things that artists should look at. Basically, if you're an artist living in New York City for at least before April of 2020, if you're older than 21 years of age, and if you are not a student, those are the main things that I can think of right now. And then, okay, I met that, go to the website and check the rest of it. Secondly, the process is very simple. The grant request requires a public engagement activity. And that means, let me go backtrack. The purpose of the grant really is to help artists who've been hit the hardest by COVID-19. So the total grant is $5,000. And obviously these are public funds. So, you know, we want to give back to the community, and that's what we're asking the artists to do. And those public engagement activities could be a reading, could be a cold staging of a play, could be a class open to the public on painting, a variety of things. Again, going to the NYFA website or Bronx Arts Council on the Arts website, all the information is there. And then I was just going to ask Michael, right? Because one cycle already passed. You've already made it clear that the process is through submittable on NYFA's website. And so if there's 5,000 grants being offered to 3,000 artists, so if they didn't make the first round, like what is that process like for the second cycle and the third cycle?
Okay, so if someone applied in the first cycle and they were deemed eligible and they qualified, but they simply were not selected, they don't need to apply again. It is automatically submitted again into submittable. for both the second and the third round. And for people who want to know when the second round is, it opens July 6th and closes on July 20th. If someone applied in the first round and for whatever reason they were deemed not eligible, they will be notified by NYFA, and then they can apply again by revising their eligibility. Does that make
I
sense?
see. Yeah, I guess. So break that down for me a little bit, like, as far as revising the eligibility portion.
So let's say somebody said they had a public engagement and they wanted to do it, but they wanted to do it or they had to do it before the second cycle opened, right? Well, then they wouldn't be eligible for the second cycle because they're telling us that public engagement can't occur during the second cycle. But if they apply again and say, you know what, I'm totally flexible on when this public engagement can occur. It can occur in July, it can occur in August, it can occur in September, or October, then they're eligible again.
So then is there a timeline per cycle in which a project needs to be completed? Is that what you're saying?
There is not. So if you put in your application that the engagement you want to do is flexible and can occur at any time prior to the end of October, then you're automatically put into the next cycle. However, some artists are collaborating with others, or they have a definitive period of time when something has to happen. And if that is the case, and you're rejected in a cycle, then it won't be automatically put into the next cycle because you can't do your project. The timeline already passed. You told us that. We didn't decide that.
Got it. So, but the timeline is the end of October, though.
When you have to complete something, yes.
When you have to complete something. So can we break down that completion aspect of it? Because I also understand that a person could have a project that may go into, let's say, full production a year from, but they can actually provide like an excerpt of it or like a reading of it, I believe Viviana mentioned.
Yeah, so the project can basically anything. It can be something that starts and ends right there for the public to engage in. It can be part of a much larger project or a much larger creative collaboration you're doing with other artists. It can be the development phase of something, such as a stage reading for a play that's going to be produced 3 years from now. It could be as simple as going into a park, but here you have to worry about permitting. We won't go into that in this call. And playing your cello for people that happen to gather around and listen to you. The public engagement is as creative as an artist wishes it to be, and is as simple or complicated as an artist wishes it to be. So
I wanted to ask Viviana, like, what really identifies a lottery, right? Because there's this lottery component to it. Even if you qualify, it's still being done as a lottery. So how does that work?
I will get into the nitty-gritty criteria, but I would say that the intentionality is really, as I said, to support artists who've been hardest hit by COVID, to respect inequities in the past. So we're going to be looking at zip codes. We're going to be looking at ethnicity, race, gender identity, all of those aspects. And also disciplines, because some disciplines, unfortunately, get more funded than others. So we, as partners in the third cycle, that's where we're going to be looking more closely to.
Got it. And so before we go, Michael, I understand that there are other organizations you've partnered with. If you'd like, we could mention some of them because this is going to be on the web as well. And while we are representing the Bronx and Bronx Council of the Arts is present, I want other artists to know that they also have the opportunity of submitting.
Sure. So again, you have to submit on the link that's tied to submittable that's on NYFA's platform or maybe the other partners' platforms. I haven't checked them all out. You don't apply directly to the other partner organizations, but I'll mention them quickly in case you have an affiliation or association with them and you want more information from someone you know at those organizations. It's the Asian American Arts Alliance, Art New York, Black Public Media, of course, Brooklyn Arts Council, Bronx Documentary Center, Bronx Council on the Arts, Dance NYC, Firelight Media, Flushing Town Hall, Indie Theater Fund, Lower Manhattan Cultural Council, or LMCC for a lot of people, Makerspace NYC, New Music USA, Poets and Writers, and Staten Island Arts. Those are all of them.
That's wonderful. Obviously, the intention is, aside from equity, diversity, and inclusion, is to also make sure that all genres of the arts are recognized.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for bringing it here to our viewers. I'm so excited for our artists. I hope you guys are excited. Once again, to sign up for the City Arts Grants, you can visit bronxarts.org and or NYFA, that's NYFA.org. We do have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll speak to a visual artist who explores identity through her work. Don't go anywhere.